You got any questions for XFL legend Jeff Brom?
The fuck does he do?
You say the fuck does he do?
Oh, who who is on the Mount Rushmore of XFL legends?
Well, let me answer that question by asking you two questions. One, is this or is this not the XFL? Yes, it is. Two, do I or do I not currently have a pulse? Yes, I do. Let's play football.
Oh, happy day, folks. Man, every time he hits that high note,
Oh, happy days!
just hit something. Dwayne Johnson could get an Oscar nomination, but he's not singing "Oh Happy Day" in a church. Yeah, that's right, folks. That's Vin Diesel. This is the 323. I am your host, Reid Murphy, and it is the Sunday Hangover. Thank you for being with us. I'm here. The Big Chief Burrito, Luis Martinez, is here. How you doing?
As well as could be expected as a fan of an 0-9 team that's going nowhere fast.
It's a rough life. It's a rough life. We took care of Mets talk last week, so you don't have to worry about it today. It'll just be sole focus on the other Ets of New York.
Oh wait, who did Mets talk?
Me and Scott randomly took on baseball talk last week.
I was like, what Mets talk? Yeah, the Mets sucked. Yeah, and so basically, your optimistic checking in with your optimistic Jets fan is I'm actually going to pay attention to Scott for the rest of the years to see which the college quarterbacks that I should be looking at are, because I was all about the Arch, you know what I'm saying? Like, suck it for Arch, back it up for Arch, you know? But I'm hearing there's a couple of other guys out there that might be more gifted players. And I don't know. I mean, Arch can go play if it's like that. I'm trying. I guess Arch can go to New Orleans, you know, and then we can take whoever the other guy is.
Right. Yeah. You don't need that because I mean, you guys have lucked out. You didn't. Trevor Lawrence could have been yours, but did you want?
Hey, Manny, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of what ifs.
Right. No, we're gonna look for the next. We're gonna look for the next. In the great line of Jets quarterbacks.
Josh Allen.
You're just who can follow the lineage of Justin Fields and Zach Wilson and Aaron Rodgers and Mark Sanchez, all of these.
Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. By the way, no mention of Mark Sanchez on the broadcast today. That was probably a smart move. I'm not sure if we're gonna get to that, but I'm sure we'll take a stab at it at some point. In the meantime,
hey, we call him the Sanchez. We didn't know it was Scream.
Do you think the guy said something about the
Sanchez?
You think the guy said something about the butt fumble, and that just triggered something like Norman Bates? And he just had to go.
He'd be like, he was drunk. He's like, it was a bumpy ride, man. I'm gonna give you 1 star. He's like, 1 star. I should give you 1 star for that butt fumble. What'd you say? What'd you say to me? I'm Mark Sanchez. And then he got stabbed up. You don't fuck with Uber drivers.
One of the worst parts of this was the TMZ article has the picture. It has a picture of Mark Sanchez, the broadcaster, and Mark Sanchez, the player. But for whatever reason, they have him in his Redskins uniform.
Yes.
Why? Like, put him with the. Why are you giving him to us? We just had him for 2 games.
They were just, hey, show me that's like the Chat GPT answer. Show me Mark Sanchez, the quarterback, and it's like, this is the latest Mark Sanchez is a football player picture.
We'll take it. We'll take You'll take whatever we can get. Hey, outside
there was no, let me just finish my thought on. There was a there's a 5-minute window, right, where the Jets are driving against the Cowboys, first drive of the game, and they're moving the ball down the field. Wilson gets a catch. They're running. Breece Hall gets a couple of runs. Justin has a couple of nice throws. It's happening, and they get down there, and it's like a 4th and goal. And while the drive was happening, I was like, "Are we gonna beat the motherfucking Cowboys?" And as soon as they didn't go for it on 4th, you're 0-4. You're 0-4. You're not going anywhere this year. It's the first drive of the game. You're playing the fucking Cowboys. You're 0-4. Go for it. You put up 3 points, and then we get boat race from then on. At that point, when they didn't go for it on 4th down, I was like, "We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose this game, aren't we?" And it was exactly that. It was it's like a hope for 5 minutes, and then it's just back to bullshit. So. Yeah.
Do you have any confidence going forward in Aaron Glenn or anything about this Jets team? Because it's so crazy to me that there's like talent on this team. Like you got Garrett Wilson, who's like still playing like he's that dude. And like on defense, like you have your guys like Quinn. I actually don't know how they're doing, but like Quentin Williams, Sauce. Pretty good edge rushers out there too. Like, is there hope for this team? Because like I'm seeing Jets fans saying that they don't see this team getting more than 1 or 2 wins with how they're playing so far.
But there's no point in getting more than 1 or 2 wins because we're not learning. We have the skill positions. We have a legitimate number 1/2 wide receiver. We have a legitimate number 1 corner. We have a legitimate stud interior lineman. We have legitimate studs on the O-line, and sprinkled around the secondary. Like there's players on that team, and everything that I'm seeing from what is that they look good on the basics, but there's zero like originality and schemes. It's all very, very basic. Some of the stats that they were throwing out that they're last in yards after catch because there's a lot of man-on-man coverage. So when we get beat, there's nobody around to help out, so we're losing a lot of yards after carry. So it's a team that's better than its record, but at the same time, they are what they are. I do hope that there is, because they've cut 2 special teamers, and so you hope that there's accountability towards the rest of this year, and the people that survive this year are the best of the best. So that if we add a stud quarterback next year, we have something to build on. That's kind of like the best case scenario. So they do have talent, but they're just not showing it on the field. But he's going to get 2 years at least to see what he can do. And if they just maybe they need to cut more kick returners. If we cut a 3rd kick returner, maybe that would be it. Yeah,
some sacrifice has to be made. I was gonna say last year Saleh got fired mid-season because they went to London and Woody Johnson got embarrassed in front of all of his ambassador friends over in London by the Jets. So they play in London next week. I don't know. Maybe Woody doesn't have the confidence to invite all of his friends again to come watch.
Would Woody fire a brand new coach with a 4-year contract at an 0-6? It would be the most Jet thing ever to fire him at 0-6.
Would Woody do it, or
Year
would
one.
Brick do it?
Well, Woody's in charge no matter what. It's basically Woody's kid is the guy that makes the decision, That's who it is. That's the guy that vetoes trade because of players' Madden ratings. So I saw a troll account that posted Woody Johnson putting Jets up for sale, and for like a second, my heart fluttered for like a quarter second. I was like, oh, but then I was like, that's fake.
All you can hope for is the Epstein files. That's all you can.
That's enough Jets talk, Reid. Other stuff happened.
I'm glad you say that because it's time for that. It's time for that traditional big game music. Yeah. Super dramatic. We did have a lot go down in Week 5 in the NFL outside of Jets Cowboys, which we did all that talk. Cowboys won 37-22. Dallas is now 2-1. Jets are 0-5. I hate ties. I hate reading that as a thing. That's why Ricks versus Gricks last week. That's a win for us. I just pushed it. We all got the win. Fuck it. Outside of that, Thursday Night Football is where the week really began, and that was a NFC West matchup between the 49ers and the Rams. The Niners, shorthanded completely, led by dad bod god Mac Jones, who found the dad bod god Mac Jones.
Who?
The dad bod, Mac
Jones?
God, Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
He found a dead body in the morning and then took on a win later that night, beating the Rams 26-23 in overtime. It was a fun game there. 49ers 4-1 now. Rams are 3-2. Luis, you're a fantasy guy. Is Puka Nacua just a god of fantasy football now? 52 receptions through 5 weeks.
Puka, any of the last 3 weeks, if you started a fantasy league and you didn't take Puka number one, you're being ridiculous. He's like outpaced. I mean, I know Jamar Chase had a nice game today, finally, but Puka has been far and above, probably the best wide receiver in all of football for the entirety of the year. And he is just an absolute beast. And the thing you can say about him is he's injury prone because he plays like a fucking maniac. And he reminds me of like Scuba Steve, Steve Smith, like reckless, abandoned, just after every single inch. And my biggest regret is in a league where I drafted CD and Nico Collins. I wish I would have drafted Puka and Nico Collins, because I'd probably be 5-0 in that league right now if I had Puka instead of CD Lamb. So, he's the number one player in fantasy right now, and he's probably the number one wide receiver right now.
Absolutely. Taking it to another great receiver, but not the number one anymore. We go to London with a 9:30 a.m. game, which, for me, it makes all of us on the East Coast see how great you have it with this waking up to football thing. Vikings took on the Browns over in London. Vikings win 21-17 off of a late Carson Wentz touchdown to Jordan Addison, who was benched in the first quarter. Everybody was, all of his fantasy owners looking around like, what's going on? But still wound up working out. Minnesota is 3-2. Cleveland is 1-4 now. Jumping to 1 o'clock, we had the Denver Broncos and the Philadelphia Eagles, Luis. The Broncos beat the Eagles 21-17. Eagles finally have been taken down.
Oh, happy days.
Oh, I needed that.
Oh, happy days.
Broncos are 3-2. Phillies 4-1. What are you thinking?
It felt like a classic Philly just enough to win game for the longest time there, with them going for it. But the Denver defense kept at it, kept hammering, kept getting stops, started getting some turnovers and some sacks when they needed. And J.K. Dobbins, they gave Harvey the ball a couple of times there, started to move it around. Bo Nix, he looked like shit the first 3 quarters, and then at the end he comes through just enough to win, and they were celebrating like they won the fucking Super Bowl afterwards. But they beat the world champion, so why not? Let's go.
Their whole locker room was all smoked up. Some said it was cigars, some said it was A.J. Brown's ears, because he just cannot deal with Jalen Hurts anymore. 9 points is a fantasy play. He's just infuriating there. Houston and Baltimore, not really much to talk about with this one. Texans beat the Ravens 44-10. Ravens are now, are they 2-3? Do I have that right? Are they 2-3 or are they 1-4? At this
I think they're 1-4.
Yeah, Ravens are 1-4. Texans are the ones who are 2-3. Absolute madness, but you can't discount the fact that the Ravens were without Lamar Jackson, Roquan Smith, several star players.
They let him do the Ray Lewis "I Got Away with Murder" dance at the end.
That's you can't let that happen. What are you doing? It's very, very quickly, because it's a nice preview of a game that we'll be playing during Ricks versus Gricks, Louise. We're going to be playing the frauds or nots games later on in the week. Are the Ravens frauds?
The Ravens might be having the year from hell. I think that they are frauds, though.
Okay, we'll get more clarity on that later in the week. is an interesting division for them to be in, but this is a tough time to be leading your team with Cooper Rush. Raiders and Colts. Raiders, definitely not for real. Colts beat them 40-6. Just cruised, no problem. Colts are back as America's team. The Colts are 4-1. Raiders are 1-4. Pete Carroll says he's having a hard time figuring this out. And I'm not. You have Geno Smith. He's finally writing back.
Geno Smith is going back to being Geno Smith. I think there was like a 1.5 year window in Seattle. Everybody was like, "Oh, Geno Smith, he finally figured it out." But this is not the year. They sat Bowers finally because he wasn't right. Genty's sort of found himself in fantasy relevance. At least that's happening. Trey Tucker even got a couple of points there, but the Raiders in general are a mess. You hope that once Bowers sits for a couple of weeks, maybe he comes back at a full strength, and then he starts becoming more of an issue for defenses. And then it'll give Genty more room. That's kind of the only thing that you can hope for the Raiders, and the fact you have a very nice stadium.
That's true. That part helps. New York Jets.
Used to be Raiders had a shitty team, had a great team, shitty stadium. Now they have great stadium, shitty team.
You can't have both. Not with the Raiders. Not right there. Unless they went to LA, which is what people in LA wanted. So, I don't know. New York Giants. They took on the New Orleans Saints. This is a rough week of games, dude. Like, it was just bad matchups throughout, but still got something out of it. The Giants and Saints went at it. Saints get their first win of the season, beating the Giants 26-14. Both teams are 1-4 now. Are the Saints a sneaky 1-4, or did they just finally have some tape on Jackson Dart and have no worries?
I think they could, because they also they played last week. They played the team they played pretty tight too. Like, they
played the Bills pretty feisty. Yeah,
they were pretty feisty. They had some life in them after during the Bills game. So it doesn't surprise me that they can. Honestly, I think they're probably upset about it, because I think they're perfectly fine with 0-17 and locking in Arch. So I think that they actually would rather take a shit at the end of the game and let Dart keep going. But yeah, at some point you have to start winning games, Jets. So I'm not mad at them. Again, the Rattler in there, fucking try to get Tyson Hill back in the mix there. Alvin Kamara is still a fucking beast, an incredible football player. He's like 5th on all time in running back receptions right now. So as long as you have a stud like that, and then you're good.
Love Kamara too. Bleeds that black and gold for New Orleans. They've been talking about trade rumors for veterans, but he's like the one guy that they're like, nah, he wants to stay there. He wants to retire there. They'll see it through.
We keep waiting for Kondre Miller in fantasy to get more looks and more touches, because you figure if you have Kamara and you want him to be part of your team for the next couple of years, you might take it easy. But no, Alvin Kamara is the running back for the New Orleans Saints, and he's going to get 15 to 20 touches a game, and he's just going to keep doing that for the foreseeable future.
Yep, that's it. You talk about a run game going on a team. We have the Miami Dolphins and the Carolina Panthers, and oh boy, the Panthers were down. They were getting their ass kicked. Bryce Young was having one of those confidence-shaking games with early interceptions, just problems all over. And what happens? I check ESPN later, and it's been a 17-point comeback. Rico Dowdle filling in for Chuba Hubbard, running for 206 yards, and Bryce Young hitting a go-ahead touchdown. So the Panthers beat the Miami Dolphins 27-24. Miami's 1-4, Carolina's 2-3. Do the Dolphins have the worst? I'm gonna say worst defense in the league. They have to be like one of the worst defenses in the league outside of me.
Oh, they beat the Jets.
They did beat the Jets. That's so.
It can't be that bad.
But even you guys ran up on them.
Yeah. So if we would have done fantasy burritos this week, I swear to God, my number one guy was Rico. Dowdle, because I picked him off the street in my main league, and I played him, and he got me 52 points, along with Matt Stafford, who I picked up off the street, got me 44 points to win my matchup. But Rico, Dowdle, was the fucking man of the hour, man, and that was my number one fantasy burrito. Trust me.
I trust him. I would have done it too. I had Rico Dowdle last week. I had him. I just let him go. And then Jeremiah's holding him hostage. What am I supposed to do? Damn. Oh, well.
But, I mean, and the return of the Walrus for the Dolphins is another area there, because he came out, he's with Hill gone, Waddle is getting more touches. Waddle started getting up. Waddle put up 20 points today in a couple of leagues for me. And then you got Waller catching touchdowns there. Devon Achane still is a very talented guy. So you got three fantasy relevant skill players right there. Malik Washington at the wide receiver didn't really make up for it. And Tua is Tua, man. Unless it's a perfect timing pattern, which is okay with Waddle, because Waddle's a technical wide receiver. So I think that'll still be there, and Waller will still be there. But the Dolphins, other than that, I think the Dolphins coach gets fired before the Jets coach. I'm gonna just put it that way. I think the Jets. I think Glenn can go 0-17, and it'll be like, well, at least we got the number one pick in the draft, and we'll run it back one more year.
Yeah, fire a coordinator or something, and try it over. Yeah. Mike McDaniel, thin ice. It was like, I guess it helped him a little bit on Monday night against the Jets, but that's gonna fire that right back up. Yeah, I can see him to Chris Greer, everybody being gone there.
I'm interested in where the next place he coaches is.
That's what, yeah. Because I don't.
Now, who's gonna hire the meme coach for his second job? The troll coach. Who's gonna hire the troll coach? You know where you would go? You might go be offensive coordinator, like in Detroit or something.
I could see that. Yeah, because he would fit that Ben Johnson mold, maybe, if they that. But
him and Ben Johnson, fucking yin and yang, old school, new school.
Yeah, I could see that. And, speaking of Ben Johnson and his old spot, we had the Detroit Lions over in the 4:00 window, just whooping ass for 4 quarters. You can always count on them for about 30 to 40 points per game. And they beat the Bengals 37-24. You had 3 touchdowns from Jared Goff, David Montgomery, which if we had done fantasy burritos, I would have thrown this one in too, and I should have thrown it into my booty betting slip. But David Montgomery touchdown was a lock because his sister, who was paralyzed in a car accident years back, made it to the game today to see him for the first time, see him play for the first time. You can almost guarantee anytime a good story like that, something that makes your heart flutter and feel good a little bit, dude's getting a touchdown. He's getting a touchdown, and he did get one in there today. Bengals, who are now 2-3, while Detroit is 4-1. Bengals look rough, man, where at one point you have Jamar Chase at one point in the game leading the team or co-leading the team for tackles. He was leading with tackles, with 3 tackles, all coming off of Jake Browning interceptions.
Well, he's getting paid enough.
He might as well do something. He's the Travis Hunter here. So are the Bengals salvageable whatsoever with Jake Browning leading them?
No. This is a team that if you were bold, you would call Cam Newton, get him off the couch, or, Kaepernick, why the fuck wouldn't you come off the street, bring somebody in, like, take a fucking shot. You're not going anywhere. Trade for fucking the Red Rocket, trade for Flacco,
Trade for Cousins.
Cousins might be a little tough salary because you spent all your fucking money on your skill position players and you didn't build an O-line and you didn't build a defense. This is going all in on your Madden build and just getting superstar quarterback, superstar wide receiver, and just going all in on that. And then all of a sudden you're like losing because you have to have balance when you're doing team building. So this is poor team building, but they made their bed, and sometimes when you make your bed, you take a shit in it and you lie in it.
Yeah. And then you get your coach, Zach Taylor, fired years after I said he should have been, and I could have prevented this. if they listen to me. But that's Mike Brown for you.
McDaniel in Cincinnati.
I mean, if you're running those schemes. I mean, Burrow, I would trust more than Tua to run a lot of the.
Oh yeah, I mean, him with Burrow would be nice.
Thinking. More on that at a later time. The Tennessee Titans and Arizona Cardinals. Titans pick up their first win 1 week after Cam Ward said that they were ass. They weren't ass today. Maybe they were, but they just met a team that was much more ass than the Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona was like, hold my iced tea.
Titans beat the Cardinals 22-21 with a last-second field goal. This is the third game in a row that this has happened to Arizona, who's now 2-3, while the Titans are 1-4. Cardinals have lost 3 consecutive games at the last second to field goals. This is a confidence destroyer for a team, right? Like this is something that I don't see Kyler Murray and their head coach Jonathan Gannon really recovering from. Right. Like at the very least Gannon, but this has just been looking poor altogether. You're getting little flashes from Marvin Harrison. You're getting little flashes from the defense, but this team can't close games. We even had a point where it looked like Kyler Murray got concussed by the long snap hitting him too hard in the head. So, like, it turned out to be a foot injury, but I like to think it was just the ball hitting him and giving him a concussion. So, I don't see the Cardinals recovering from this. This is also a team that I could see being up there with the Dolphins for a midseason firing, but, good for Tennessee. Good for Cam Ward, I guess.
Yeah, Cam had a couple of decent throws during that game. You could see him kind of like things maybe beginning to slow down. Maybe that's week 5 in the NFL. Maybe that's playing the fucking Arizona ass Cardinals and their shit team. And I like Kyler Murray as a strictly fantasy quarterback. I never liked him as a real life quarterback. He's Mr. Garbage time touchdowns and garbage time stats. Somehow he'll just still put up a few numbers here and there. He'll have a couple of strangles and a 70-yard pass at some point during each game. But yeah, I think it's pretty much time to close the book on him in Arizona. I think if you keep running that shit over, you got a stud wide receiver, you got a stud tight end. Michael Carter playing really well at the running back position, but still just no continuity on defense, no real skill levels. No real pressure on a rookie quarterback that admitted his team was shit, and you still take another even bigger shit. So,
yeah, that's what's gonna happen. That's Arizona football for you. It's like them and the Saints. They're just teams like I wish I could give a shit about them, but even the Saints I give a shit about at some point. But I just don't give a shit about them when Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shuck or Taysom
Hill. Could be worse though. It could be the Jets.
I'll tune into a Jets game. I'm not going out of my way.
Like Arizona. Yeah. I mean, Marvin Harrison.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
If
it's Marvin,
who would you rather have, Marvin Harrison or Garrett Wilson?
At this point, I'd say Garrett Wilson. Still, I would say
Kyler Murray or Justin Fields.
Give me Kyler Murray.
The Washington Redskins just signed a backup quarterback. Who is it?
Give me Kyler if it's got to be between the two. I can't. I don't trust Fields. I know what I'm getting with Fields. You're getting fun. You're getting an athletic Rex Grossman of sorts.
Fields is a good. Do you know that one time I made a trade in a fantasy league where I trade assaulted a guy? And I got LaDainian Tomlinson in the trade, and the final piece I had to add to make him say yes was Rex Grossman.
Really?
Once I added Rex Grossman, he was having a hot couple of weeks. Once I put Rex Grossman in trade, he's like, all right. And I yeah. It's a famous trade in my league, and everybody's like, damn, no lube.
Nobody can deny Sexy Rexy, the sex dragon himself. Fuck it, chuck it. Oh, love him, miss him. Moving on, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Seattle Seahawks, probably game of the week right there. We had that game just going like crazy at the end. Buccaneers, they beat the Seahawks 38-35, sealed with a Levante David interception that set up their game-winning field goal. Baker Mayfield, man, got the goods. Sam Darnold still doing great this season. It's making the Vikings fans think, but Baker throwing for 379 yards, 2 touchdowns in this game. Tampa's 4-1, Seattle's 3-2, but mostly we are all winners because Baker and the rise of rookie stud receiver Emeka Egbuka. Like, it's so fun to watch. 5 touchdowns already for the kid through 5 weeks, but it also gave us this gem, which is Rob Gronkowski of Fox Sports attempting to say the name of the Buccaneers rookie receiver.
But Baker Mayfield also did it without his number 1 wide receiver, Mike Evans. And you got to give credit to this rookie sensation wide receiver out of Ohio State, Emeka Egbuka, going for over 100 yards. Emeka Egbuka. I'm getting confused. Going lights out once again.
Egbu?
Egbuka?
Egbu. Labubu?
Labubu. Oh, that he should get a deal. He should get a deal.
Solid gold Labubu?
Our Buccaneers are for real, for sure, right? But they're like the cardiac team. How do you feel about them going forward with this level of a team, especially being without Mike Evans and still trying to get Chris Godwin back?
Yeah, no Mike Evans, no problem. They got Chris Godwin back. No Bucky Irving, no problem. Sean Tucker and Rashad White step up. Last second fumble, no worries. Get the ball back. Fucking Baker's gonna. Honestly, Baker Mayfield is in that, like, he's got the ball. He's like poor man's Patrick Mahomes. If you got the ball at the end of the game and you got Baker, you got 2 minutes. You're gonna have a shot. You're at least gonna you're gonna be at the 30 with taking a couple of shots at the end zone, or you're gonna be able to get your kicker out there for something. So this is the Carolina is an incompetent franchise and didn't realize they had 2 at least decent quarterbacks in front of them at the same time. Because both of these quarterbacks that played this incredible game, both were in Carolina a couple of years ago. And somehow they couldn't figure out, maybe we should keep one of these, or maybe we should we keep one of these 2 quarterbacks, or should we trade Christian McCaffrey, our best player? Let's do neither. Let's not keep either of the quarterbacks and also trade Christian McCaffrey. And that was the wrong move. That was interesting. And 2 great young wide receivers, JSN on Seattle side that keeps doing stuff, and Jabubu Abuku, him for Tampa Bay. Yeah, Tampa Bay is the truth, I believe.
It's going to be fun to watch them going forward, and to watch Labubu going forward. He's just going to be fun for a long time.
Emeka Labubu.
Adele Dezem. Oh, good on Gronk. That paid his contract all right there. Final game from the afternoon today. We had the Washington Commanders. Excuse me, they won. We get this.
The fucking Commanders!
Beating the Los Angeles Chargers 27-10. It was Jayden Daniels' return game. Came back from a knee injury, wearing a knee brace that was kind of cool. Fit right in. You couldn't even tell it was a knee brace. He was very embarrassed by it, and his mom was very proud of it. The meantime, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, a.k.a. Bill, ran for 2 touchdowns, 100 yards, his first 100-yard game, the rookie right there. And the defense forced 3 turnovers on the Chargers. Washington's 3-2 now. Chargers are 3-2 as well. Both of these teams, honestly, Luis, I'm curious how you feel about both of them, because Commanders, I'm still going. This gives me a lot of hope, and it gives me a lot of good feeling here for them to get this kind of win and look strong. I think that they're going to be a much bigger threat of a team if they can stay consistent with this run game, and that's what a lot of people have been wanting to see, if they can get a power run game going. Defense still concerns me, but at least there was some confidence building there today against a really good Chargers offense. Chargers, meanwhile, I wanted to believe they had left, the Chargers shenanigans of the past behind, but we're kind of back at it where just these like routine mistakes are happening, weird shit's happening. Lad McConkey's doing okay, but maybe people are starting to catch up to this Keenan Allen being used as a tight end type of thing going. Omarion Hampton kind of comes in and comes out. He goes and just fades away. Between these two teams, are either of them real for real, or are we looking at some fraudery?
Fraudery, huh?
Fraudery
So
of our
I think what you could,
dictionary.
I think what you can say about the Chargers is they're a well-coached, disciplined team, but that their schemes are a bit simple, I guess you would say. I mean, they're not the most advanced. Like, they're just very, very, very standard. So there is a chance that people could be catching up to the Chargers. The Mandy's had not as so much. I mean, they've been winning, but they didn't look like they had like the magic that they had last year, right? This is the first game where I've sort of felt like there was like, oh man, this team is showing me a couple. You know, they lost their running backs. Oh, this guy, this man, Mr. Krowski here comes out and puts up 120 yards, something like that. Debo looking fucking Debo-ish out there. The F1 McLaren left in the garage today, apparently, which is okay. But yeah, this is the first game of this year where they look special at certain points, and especially because they're going up against a tough team on the road. On a neutral site, but at the same time, it was an impressive win on the road for Washington. And Herbert could be, pound for pound, probably the most talented thrower of the football next to like Stafford and Mahomes. So I think that you're expecting more from him. He's got weapons. He's got McConkey, who hasn't done shit all year. He's got huge, and he's got Keenan Allen, and he should be putting up an Omarion Hampton, and they're giving the ball to like Vidal Sassoon when they're down, So I think the schemes that the Chargers are putting out there are a little simplistic for NFL. So I'd like to see them spend a little bit more time on some more advanced coordinators to have the well-coached, disciplined Harbaugh team, but also to make it more, for the long run, to be able to confuse people and beat people with good schematics like Washington. They're going to need a little bit more than just vanilla.
No more vanilla. I'll also give it to Herbert too. When he takes off and runs, and I completely forget about his mobility for his size too. Dude's scary. Like everything should be better. I completely agree with you. Everything should be, more concise there. So we'll see. Maybe Mike McDaniel there. I don't know. We're gonna keep throwing him there.
That would be a great one. That would be a good one. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, I'd like to see.
He's definitely a Southern California guy. He's an LA guy.
That's your Week 5 NFL recap, folks. Outside of Sunday Night Football, we will cover Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football. We'll cover during Ricks versus Gricks, currently happening as we speak between the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. Cardi B's baby daddy having his revenge game there against Buffalo, so we'll see how that goes. Luis, before we get out of here, any takeaways, any thoughts on the weekend?
No, so I mean, his second album was kind of trash. Oh, I'm sorry, you're talking about sorry, my bad. No, I think Baboni at the Super Bowl. That's going to be interesting. People are freaking out. You love to see it. One Battle After Another. Excellent movie. Go out there and watch it.
Curious about that, actually.
Yeah.
Since this is the Sunday Hangover, we chat about anything. How is that movie?
So, Paul Thomas Anderson is an incredible director. Boogie Nights, There Will Be Blood, Heart 8, Magnolia, Inherent Vice, stuff like that. But this is kind of right in between like Boogie Nights and There Will Be Blood, like on that level of frenetic pace. Leonardo DiCaprio is like a failed dad and fails at everything he tries to do during the movie. but it is an incredible story. A lot of cool insight stuff. A lot of people are talking shit about it because it's supposed to be a revolutionary, like a pro Antifa movie. It's about revolutionaries. And it does have some important cultural themes, but like I said in several of my posts, Paul Thomas Anderson could come over to my house, smoke all my weed, drink the last beer in the fridge, and then leave an upper decker on the toilet and steal my bike, and I would still go see his movies. So definitely go see one battle after another.
That's a great review. That's exactly what you want to hear.
Yeah. Oh, and if you want to see something video on demand that I'm in, I play my character Lucha Maximo Supremo in my friend's movie called Sincerely Saul. It's a movie about a guy that wants to lose his virginity by age 27, or he's gonna, do something to himself, and he lives with his grandma. And it's about a bunch of characters that come in and out of his life during that time. It's really funny, really well made. It's a real indie movie, and you can get it on demand for like $3 on YouTube. So if you want to see me in a movie, go watch Sincerely Saul.
You heard him there. You heard him, folks. Go check it out. I need to check it out. $3.
Yeah.
That's easy, folks.
That's
we can
easy.
do this.
It's nothing.
It's nothing. We can do that. Take that over Paul Thomas Anderson, honestly. No sacrilege.
He don't need it. He
doesn't need it. He's got TCM. Folks, that's Luis Martinez, the Big Chief Burrito himself. Thank you all for being here, for being in the chapel of football here. You can check us out at the 323 Network YouTube page. Listen to us wherever you get podcasts, Spotify, Apple. Listen to us instead of the Life of a Showgirl. I've been hearing terrible things about that album. You don't need to listen. Taylor Swift is... Look, I'm glad, Luis, people are finally catching on to her. That she just regurgitates the same stuff out. And it's caught up. Her fans.
Yeah, I've seen some of the reviews of some of our new lyrics, and it was like, this is written by ChatGPT or something. It's horrible.
She straight up stole a Jonas Brothers song. She did the title song off of her album, The Life of a Showgirl, straight up took from the song Cool by the Jonas Brothers. What are you doing? Oh, you Swifties. Travis Kelce wrote these lyrics. I'm telling, and if he did, good for him. I think he actually did well.
Now she just needs to help him run his routes.
I could see her. Just give her one play. Make her a gadget player.
A back shoulder throw.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, I mean, Xavier Worthy might be out on Monday Night Football, so they could use her. We'll find out.
Let's go.
Hey, like I said, thank you all for your support. Thank you for being with us. We will talk to you Friday with our Ricks versus Gricks for Week 6. You got to take our picks. Take our fantasy burritos. You will be hearing from the Big Chief Burrito himself, in fact, a little early on, trying to help you out, get your waiver claims in. So look out for that on the 323 Network YouTube page. And, check out Sincerely Saul. Check out Blacklist. It's going to be, you just get everything from us. Get everything from Burrito. Everything from us. Folks, thank you. We will talk to you later. Stay safe.
Emeka Egbuka.